am talking with Shelby Riley, who's a licensed social worker and a rural foster care recruiter with Nevada Division of Child and Family Services. And Shelby, you've become a friend here in rural Nevada in your efforts to recruit foster parents. So we always appreciate your taking the time to reach out and to try to talk to families and singles and anybody who's ever thought about helping improve the lives of children in our community. Thanks, Shelby, for being here today. If you wouldn't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself and your role with Nevada Dcfs.
Thank you so much, Lori, for having me again. I just love to talk about this cause to anyone who will listen to me, so I really appreciate being here today. My name is Shelby Riley, and I am the foster care recruiter for our 15 rural counties of Nevada. That means I recruit foster homes in every county of Nevada besides Reno and Las Vegas. So my expertise is in our rules.
And Shelby, I know we've been talking about this for a few months, and we've really put the call out for foster families and care that's needed. So we'll just kind of go right into it. The fact is that while there's been some success, right, we always want to focus on the positive, you still need foster families in rural Nevada.
Absolutely. The foster care shortage is still ongoing, and so I want to remind everyone across our counties that we are in need of foster homes from ages 0 to 18.
And what are the reasons, Shelby, that kids need to go into care?
Yeah, so foster care is designed to be a safe, temporary space for children while there's unsafe things happening in their home. So children enter care when there is abuse or neglect occurring in their home. That's an umbrella term and could look like many different things. It could mean maybe parents are struggling with addiction. Maybe a parent is trapped in an unsafe relationship and they don't have a lot of resources. Maybe they have an unstable living condition. And those are just some of a few reasons, to name a few, as to why children are in foster care. I think what's really important to highlight is that most of the reasons that children enter foster care are because of family crisis. It's not because that they are unwanted or that they are hated by their family. It just means that their family is in what's probably the hardest point in their life, and they really need the help of the community to rebuild themselves back up.
When we come back here with this Wellness Wednesday segment, we're going to talk more about some specific needs for foster caregivers in Elko County when Wellness Wednesday continues, brought to you by Vitality Integrated Program Services, the VIPs in our community. Thank you for listening to Wellness Wednesday today. My guest is Shelby Riley. She's a licensed social worker with the Nevada Division of Child and Family Services, and she serves as the rural foster care recruiter. And Shelby, we were talking about the reasons why kids go into care. The best case scenario is that this is only meant to be temporary, right?
Right. And, the first thing that we're going to explore when children need to enter care is if they can either remain in their own home or if they can be sent to what's probably a family member or someone in their own world. So our foster homes come in when that's not available and there's no one in that child's world that's able to step up and be that temporary safe space for them.
Why wouldn't we just have children stay temporarily in families located outside the community?
Well, sometimes that happens, Lori, but also it's important to keep in mind that placing outside of the state can be really tricky because now we're dealing with another state's whole set of child welfare laws, and sometimes it could take several months up to a year to place a family that are outside the state. I think that's important to keep in mind for us in Nevada because a lot of us live in communities that are bordering other states. A lot of us have family members that might not live in Nevada or might not be local to us. And so that's why it's important that we do have supports that are going to be centrally located in a community that you're trying to build yourself up in.
That's important, keeping kids in their own community for various reasons, as you just touched on, right, Shelby? Their well-being is what's most important here. You want them to feel safe and have some sense of normalcy as their family is being rebuilt?
Yeah, so we see that our efforts towards families reunifying is much more successful when all of their services are located in the same area. So those visits can happen in the same community. So those mental health services or those legal services or educational services are happening in the same community. so that children that are taken from their home and removed from everything that they know can have some type of familiarity, whether that's the same school, the same friends, the same neighbors. Whatever we can do to keep some type of familiarity will reduce the impact of trauma happening to children and families in the foster care system.
And then finally, Shelby, in this segment, we want to emphasize the importance of keeping brothers and sisters together, right?
Absolutely. Siblings are all that each other has at some point. They've already lost their parents. Some of our older siblings may feel very parentified or have a very huge responsibility in helping to protect and care for their siblings. And so that can cause a whole other element of worry and upset when siblings are separated from each other. So that is why there's such a need for there to be an excess of foster homes. We don't know when that sibling set's going to come in that's going to need a home, possibly for different age ranges.
Shelby, thank you. When we come back with our Wellness Wednesday discussion today, we're going to talk about what you might need to do to become a foster caregiver. And the division is also emphasizing that foster dads are needed in rural Nevada when Wellness Wednesday continues. We're continuing our Wellness Wednesday discussion with an update today about rural foster care with Shelby Riley. She's a licensed social worker with Nevada Division of Child and Family Services. And Shelby, we want to emphasize that anybody who's caring and can pass the requirements is eligible to be a foster caregiver.
Yeah, there's so many different makeups of what a great foster home looks like. You could be single or married. You can own or rent your home. You only have to be at least 21 years of age, and we don't have a cutoff age. You can be a part of a domestic partnership, or you can be a part of a multi-generational home, so you may have your parents living with you or other adult boarders. So there's many different types of foster homes that would look great in our system.
And we've noticed that the division has recently launched a campaign, if you will, emphasizing the need for foster dads. Can you tell us more about that, Shelby?
Yeah, so we want to highlight that caring for your community's children is not just a woman's job. Foster fathers are just as needed, if not more needed, than foster mothers. And I hope that this point really highlights why there's such a need for diverse makeups of family, because some children may do best in a male-only home. On the flip side, there might be children that may lack a male influence and may have trauma associated with men that you as a father can help in healing. Overall, there are a handful of foster dads that are the main carers of the home in our network today. And we have many teen males in our system that are in need of a solid mentor as they come of age, and they are becoming adults in our community themselves.
Well, we know, Shelby, from our past conversations that you and your brother had personal experience with this. So can you tell us how this can really make a difference when someone steps forward and can provide this kind of care?
Yeah, that's a really great point, Lori. When we launched this campaign on foster fathers, I really thought of my little brother a lot. We weren't raised with a male influence in the home, and for me, I think that brought a certain set of challenges, but I saw it bring a totally different set of challenges for my brother. So he wasn't always engaged in maybe some of the more cisgender male activities that more men are exposed to, like hiking or fishing. He never had a man that was able to teach him how to shave. And that kind of stuff affects your confidence as a young boy growing into a man. And to be able to have that influence, it can make such a difference in a young man's life.
Shelby, thank you so much. We're going to wrap up our Wellness Wednesday segment for the day. When we come back, and we're going to reach out to people to give some specifics about where they can get the training needed, how they can start the process, and to note it isn't a commitment just by looking into the prospect. We'll do that when Wellness Wednesday continues. Today's Wellness Wednesday segment is a focus on recruiting foster parents and especially foster dads in rural communities here in northeastern Nevada. Elko, Humboldt, and Lander counties are in need of foster parents. And Shelby Riley is our guest. She's a rural foster care recruiter for Division of Child and Family Services, a licensed social worker. So, Shelby, for anybody listening thinking, I could probably make the time to foster a child in need, what's the next best step?
So the next thing you want to do is go to our website. That's www.ruralnvfostercare.com. We've got a lot of great information about our program on the page. When you're ready, you can start applying by clicking on the Get Started button at the bottom of the page, and you'll start filling out all the paperwork that you need to start applying to be a foster parent. If you had questions before getting started or putting your information on the internet, you can absolutely reach out to me personally, toll-free, by calling my number at 888-423-2659.
Is there anything such as a bad question, Shelby? Do you field a lot of questions?
To people every day that are coming into this system and maybe have limited experience or knowledge on what foster care is, and they're kind of just starting from ground zero. That is totally okay. All questions are welcome. There's no bad questions, and we very much welcome you into giving us a call and learning a bit more about how you can help this system of children in your community.
There really is a lot of support within the foster parenting community, right? You won't be going it alone.
Yeah, and that's what we talk about in our training, is that we really encourage you to work as an open family system versus a closed family system. Be open to knowing that there is going to be community support, whether that's from the court, whether that's from our agency, whether that's from other agencies in the community, to help you build up children as a village. So you are definitely not in this alone.
Shelby, thank you so much for all that you do for rural Nevada children in particular, but I know it's an important part of the entire state and the health and welfare of our children. We really, as a society, that's, the way that we care for our children is a deep reflection on us as citizens. So thank you, Shelby, for bringing us this information, and we wish you the best of luck in recruiting more foster parents and foster dads in particular.
Thank you, Lori. I really appreciate you helping me spread my message.